check, 1, 2.
Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started.
Hello, everybody. This is Michael Quarles with Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip, and this is Daily Deal number 6. Here we go. Today's podcast is a follow-up to one that we did on a daily deal. On the Daily Deal podcast, you heard Alex and Ryan negotiate a house to a purchase of $76,000. But what you did not hear is that our third-tier negotiator contacted the seller and renegotiated subject to financing. So we're buying a house that we're buying for $76,000. We're paying $5,000 to the seller. We are taking the loan subject to. She's 2 payments behind in her note. We're taking and making up those 2 payments, becoming current on her note. That is fantastic for both her and ourselves. For her, it's going to help her start repairing her credit. For us, that means we don't have to come up with another $70,000 or so on this cash purchase or go get some hard money on this transaction. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, you're going to hear during this telephone call with our third-tier negotiator that he explains the benefit that she has coming. More importantly, he explains the benefit to us. We never want to hide anything. It's important when you're communicating with the seller that you tell them both sides of why it's important. You always want to tell the truth. Don't conceal anything. Now, you're going to hear inside of this call something very interesting that should be a learning experience for whoever is listening. And that is, we switched escrow companies not too long ago. We were using one. We switched to another one. We committed the cardinal sin when we switched. Oh my goodness, I can't even believe we didn't do this ourselves. But when you switch escrow title companies or your closing company, you need to make a point to tell the receptionist who you are. Naturally, the closing, escrow officer and the title officer, they know who we are because they're the ones that deal hand in hand with us. But that receptionist that gets all of the calls, all of the first contact calls from your sellers, they need to know who you are. Because you'll hear in this call where that receptionist tells them, oh, I don't know who they are. Which means our credibility was bruised for a second until the escrow officer said, oh yeah, we do business with them all the time. So if you switch or open up escrow with a brand new company, you walk up to that escrow receptionist or that title company receptionist, you introduce yourselves, you're nicey nice, make sure you have 4 or 5 minutes of conversation, make it count, but make sure you do that. And I can tell you one thing, I'm doing this podcast on a Saturday. I can tell you one thing, Monday morning, my transaction coordinator is going to go and see that closing company and introduce us to that receptionist. They'll probably do it over the phone, not actually go over there kind of stuff. But it's highly, highly, highly important that you guys do that. The other thing I've noticed in this one, and Gabe did a fantastic job. He was always asking questions. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? It's kind of like when you guys hear me always say, when I buy your house today, when I buy your house today, when you sell me your house today. Yeah, we want to embed it over and over and over and over and over. And then finally, now that we don't have to come up with $76,000, let's just get the deal done. So let's close it as fast as we can. Would you like your money faster? She started laughing. She said, of course. Man, we took care of all kinds of problems in this phone call. And again, I just think it's an important deal phone call to listen to on how you take a seller who wanted all cash and convert him into a subject to. Hope you guys enjoyed. Here's the call. Have fun.
Hello?
Hi, is this Christina?
Yes.
Hi, Christina. It's Ryan. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. So it does look like we got the purchase agreement back, which is great. Christina, I did know that Gabriel wanted to speak with you about a couple things, but he was having a little difficulty getting a hold of you. Let me grab him real quick for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, hold on just one second.
Oh. Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Christina. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a few days.
Oh, I haven't. I've been checking my messages. I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well, no problem. I just wanted to touch bases with you, and as we go along, want to make sure that we're on the same page. The last time we spoke was before you had a chance to, I think, talk to the your tenant, and then you got a date of when the tenant would be moving out, and
yes.
I'm scanning through the file here. It would be, I think you added it on there, huh? You've done this before?
No, it's my first time, but I forgot who it was, told me to just write it in there.
Oh, okay. Property shall be vacant by May 31st, and that's fine. We can definitely work with you on that. One of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about is you and I had talked about the fact that the loan was in arrears 2 payments, and that we were concerned about it going into a third, and then it causes further expenses on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a payment made on Monday.
Oh,
so
did you?
It's only 2 still. So.
Okay, yeah, that kind of keeps us out of their radar there, or their process. They don't like to commence that because it causes them expenses and whatnot. So we try to go that route. I was also looking at this, and now, do you know that our intention is to go in there and invest some money on it and getting it to look like one of the best ones on the block, and then if we can, we'll resell it. If we can't, then we'll keep it, and that's what we do with them. Sometimes we keep them a little bit longer, wait for the market to tell us when it's time to do it, and sometimes we can do it pretty fast. So usually it doesn't take us too long anyways. I wanted to ask you about that. I'd like to see if you'd be okay with us working with the existing mortgage.
Okay. What does that mean? I'm sorry.
Sure. But what that means is we'd like to see if we can just, while we have it and while we fix it up and while we resell it, we continue to make the payments on it instead of paying them off completely up front, and then we'll just pay them off when we resell it. Would that be okay with you?
Okay, and so you guys just make the payment. It stays under my name and just make the payments, or?
And here's what that does for you. The benefit for you is, do you have plans of someday buying another house someday?
Yeah, in the future, I would hope so.
Okay. Let me tell you the benefit to that is for you. What happens is we can agree to go ahead and make up the payments right away, right as soon as we close. We would go ahead and make up those payments. And then after that, we continue to make the payments on time while we fix it up and resell it, whether it takes us another month or two. Okay? And what that does is it ends up reflecting on your credit.
Okay.
And so now, when they run your credit in the future and you're looking to buy another house, it'll show on there, okay, Christina fell 2 payments behind here. I noticed that. Oh, okay. And then she was responsible. She made up the payments. Oh, and then she started making her payments on time. And, oh, okay. So it was just a glitch and something was going on in her life, but she makes her payments. And that's what your credit story will tell. That is the benefit to you. Now, the benefit to us, of course, is, instead of dumping all this money into one property, we go out and buy some more. That's what we do. We buy houses and more. We try to buy one at least a day. We shoot for that, but sometimes we fall short. We'll buy, maybe 10 to 15 a month. So if we don't have to tie our capital into the properties, that allows us to go in there and spend the money on fixing it up, marketing, making the payments, and it's a win-win for everybody. It's good for you, good for your credit, and I was looking at this. This would be a perfect opportunity for both you and I.
Okay. So what happens now? I mean, as far as what's the next step then for that?
Everything remains the same. We've already talked to Sonia over there, and did you like Sonia? She's a pretty nice person. Over at First American Title? Yes. She's awesome.
Well, when I first called, they were like telling me they've never heard of you guys. But then when you guys gave me Sonia's name, she's the one that actually but the receptionist was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And
yeah.
like,
I'm sure
no.
I'm absolutely sure that we're not the only ones they deal with. As a matter of fact, I think they cover Kern and Fresno County. Kern, Tulare, and Fresno County. They do just the local one. Of course, First American is national. I'm not even sure if they're not international, but they're a big company. And of course, you're protected, unless we perform, they certainly wouldn't transfer your ownership to anyone. So that's what's important about that. But yeah, and so it's really everything remains the same pretty much. The only thing we do is we write up one more form or one more sheet of paper that says, oh, you know what, and everything's the same. Christina is going to receive. Now your money is the same. I mean, what you're going to walk away with, that doesn't change. Everything that we're going to pay, nothing changes. The only thing that changes is, okay, well, instead of us dumping, how much is this? $70,000?
Yes.
$71,000. Okay, instead of us dumping it there, which basically sometimes we use our own capital, sometimes we use our private investors, and then sometimes we use institutional lenders also that we make use of capital as well. So if I'm just going to go get capital from say another one of our private investors, well, heck, we already got a lender in place. Why don't we just make use of that? It benefits us. It benefits Christina. It's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for everybody.
Okay.
That'd be okay with you?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is do one other form. It's actually going to be two forms. One that says, okay, Christina and the buyer and the seller agree. The term is called subject to, okay? And, of course, First American Title handles it as well. And it's common practice, so they know what it's the same thing. They'll call up the lender and say, hey, how much is owed to you, so that we verify the loan balance, as we would anyways. And then it'll say purchase price to remain the same, which will be exactly what it is. What does it say? What's the wording? Purchase price to be payoff amount on the existing mortgage at the time of closing, not to exceed the $71,000 plus $5,000 net to the seller, as stated above, which was the $5,000 net to you. And so now it'll say property to be purchased subject to the existing loan. That's the term for that. And that's basically it. And this Christina to net, or seller to net $5,000 at closing. The buyer will still pay for all closing costs. Buyer to bring the loan current, and that will be reflected on the purchase contract.
Okay.
That'd be fine. We can do that. In fact, if you want, I guess we can do both. We can put an addendum, or I can rewrite it for you.
Okay.
I can just rewrite it for you if you'd like. You want me to do that?
That's fine.
Okay. How did your tenant take it? Do we foresee a struggle trying to get him out or not?
No.
Okay. That's the one thing that we, the buyer, are sometimes put at risk. Sometimes the tenant is uncooperative. Sometimes, just because things happen in life, they can't move, so we do run that risk. But we do want to buy the house, so we do this enough to know that sometimes there's a risk, but we should be okay. Do you have a personal relationship with these folks?
Not the ones that are there now.
Okay. So
apparently I found out my brother-in-law moved out.
Okay.
So, my ex-brother-in-law moved out, but he has a family there. But no, they're not. I don't know them, personally. So we wouldn't be offending you if we had to go through the expense and process of eviction. No, but I've already. They already know this was kind of coming. Apparently, someone had already notified them. So okay, and I'm giving them a proper 30-day notice, and I'm going to have them sign it, and I'm going to sign it, and so we're the last thing we want to do is build a bad relationship with you and upset you because we have to go through legal terms to get him out. No, I'm okay with it. Okay, all right, and you're just not looking for another house just yet, huh? No, not yet, not at this moment. I'm going to wait a while and try to get my feet back under me again. Okay, no problem. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it with those other terms, and I'll specify it on the last page as well, just very specific to what we're doing. And then dates will remain the same. Everything is good. If you could just go ahead and get that initial sign and send it back to us. And now here's another thing. If I can close it any sooner and be conscious of the fact that I have a tenant issue still to handle, you'd be okay with that too? Yes, that's fine. You wouldn't mind getting your money earlier? No, I wouldn't. Okay. All right. Definitely not. Okay. Well, I do want to monitor it with you and continue to stay in communication with you to see how the response from your tenant is on your 30-day notice and whatnot. Okay. All right. So we'll monitor that. But we like to go ahead and hurry up and start marketing it, or whether it be to put a tenant in. In fact, I could look at it and is he paying rent? He's paying, my brother-in-law pays me, but apparently he made a different agreement with the people that are there, and they're paying him more than what he pays me. So do you know what they're paying? Maybe I'd like to keep him. Who knows? I believe this is what I heard. It's kind of just like, I don't know for sure. I haven't spoken to him, but they told me it was $900. So okay, I don't know. And should we decide that, hey, maybe we want the tenant to stay in there, would you be okay with that? That's fine. If that's, it's up to you guys. Do you know if there's a deposit involved? I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I can talk when I have them sign the 30-day notice. I can ask them. Okay, because if there is a deposit involved, then that's another expense I have to worry about. So, or needs to be handled. And if you don't know about it and there is a deposit, then it's probably your brother-in-law or ex-brother-in-law that has it. So, yes. How's that going to work out? Who knows? Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if I should say hopefully there is or hopefully there isn't. Maybe hopefully there isn't. And that way, if I propose to them to stay in there, I would only do it if they agree to come up with a deposit. So we'll see. Yeah. No promises either way. It just depends on what I can do with the house, what I think I could do with the house. Okay. Okay. And so I'll send this to you. If I send it to you here in the next few minutes, how soon can you get it back to me? Within probably just a couple of minutes after I look over it and sign it and stuff.
Absolutely. And you have the other one to reference, so it'll be the same. Other than that, it'll instead of first page says all cash, and then the next little box below it, it says subject to existing mortgage, and that's what that's about.
Okay.
All right. And that's all that makes a difference, and that's going to do good for you. That's going to do real good for you because even if it's a short period of time, again, it'll reflect on your credit. If we end up keeping it for a little longer, let's say we have to rent it for, half a year, whatever, then that's all just better. The more you build up your credit, the better for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I will send this to you, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.